come here and learn about business. But at the end, what I learned, it was myself.
Are there any regrets? Like, was this decision worthwhile? Is keeping up to date with global affairs.
Mamma mia, I can't do
those challenges and our failures into successes.
And building community will be one of my priority.
But it's good to see the other side of things.
Was it good decision?
That's the golden question. I don't know. Hello to our wonderful viewers out there. We're here in Italy again. And thank you to all the subscribers and all the views on our first episode. And here we are again with our second episode, Margarita.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm very happy to continue our podcast. And today, you can see we don't have any guests today. We have only us, Sharvania, Margarita, and why? Because today we have an idea to speak about our experience a bit. Because I know some of our audience would like to listen to our stories as well. Yeah. And before coming to MBA, I was thinking to come here and learn about business. But at the end, what I learned, it was myself.
And the same for me as well, Margarita. I mean, I came here to challenge myself. And at the end of the day, I thought, are there any regrets? Like, was this decision worthwhile? And should I have left everything and come here?
Yeah. Sounds very good, and this is what we are talking about in that video. And first of all, I'd like to start from our professional experience and about our expectations before coming, because MBA it's about studying and why we decided to study that. What was your idea, your goal, purpose to come here? Why?
I'm glad you brought that question up, Margarita. So, I mean, as you know, I'm from South Africa. So moving across continents, as I'm sure you would mention a bit, coming from Russia, but pretty much leaving everything behind. The motivation for me was to, as I said before, to challenge myself, to make a better life for myself, to build an international career. That's why I came to Europe and to Italy to do that. But as you mentioned, I mean, we experience so many challenges and so many transitions as we go along this journey. But the main thing was just to, use my background in economics. I did my master's in economics, and then I also have a background in supply chain.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in analytics. I worked at Heineken before coming here. So obviously I left a stable job, and it's scary. I mean, as an adult, to what's the MBA going to bring me? What's the post MBA going to bring me? Am I going to be able to maneuver between diverse markets, get a job, maybe start a business after? All these different questions just live in your mind the whole time before coming here. And I guess now we'll speak about the actual journey that that this MBA has brought us, and our professional and professional experience that it's brought us, as well as the courses and so on. But just in terms for you, Margarita, what was your motivation that brought you halfway across the world? So especially coming from Russia.
Yeah, exactly. It was a big challenge for me, to be honest. It wasn't easy. Maybe for some people it's easy. For me, it wasn't exactly. And my goal, my idea was to know about business, global business, about the international environment. That's why I have chosen the MBA in international business. So this focus was my priority. And after studying, during study, I understood that it gave me what I wanted to have to gain. And because now, after studying, I have a more holistic view, more big picture about business and how business works globally, about some different business models, and about interconnection between cultures, how to build international business, and which regulations and difficulties you could meet on this way. And this study gave me this understanding, and also geopolitical courses uh, gave me this understanding how the world works, what's going on now, and to learn more about other countries. For example, I didn't know so much about Latin America, about Africa, and because these countries for me are also, mm, too far, and it wasn't in my field of like broaden my horizons
Then.
in that field.
And also just to the coursework, I mean, if I can just touch on a few subjects that
Yeah.
I felt was really
Yeah.
I immersed myself fully and got a holistic picture of things. As you mentioned, geopolitics.
Yeah.
I thought the geopolitical course was of great interest. I mean, I think in terms of any career, to have a global mindset, always keeping up to date with global affairs, I think it also helped us to get back into that rhythm in terms of always knowing what's happening in other countries, because the world is interconnected. We always need to know what's happening in, as you mentioned, Africa, Russia, the United States, etc. I also really enjoyed the strategic management course. I think that helped us to think on a more advanced level in terms of, how to manage or to think more strategically when it comes to maybe running your own business one day. Also getting that's also closely linked to management consulting or strategic consulting. I think that also helps if you want to transition into the consulting industry, which is what I want to do, move from analytics into consulting. I think that definitely gave us a good global perspective and strategic perspective in terms of the consulting field. And I think another course that I can say is leadership dynamics. I mean, just from an MBA perspective, I mean, it gave us that. That's what an MBA is about, to hopefully become a leader or maybe pursue another leadership position, or maybe to just think like a leader, So I think it really gave us the skills and the knowledge in order to get into the working world after whatever we want to do, even if we want to start our own business or I think it just equipped us with the skills that we needed to think differently and to think on a different level. So,
and you feel that?
I do, yeah, you do. I'm sure with you as well, Margarita.
Yeah. I like the point about geopolitical course because it's not only about what's going on now in countries, but we had such a great opportunity to ask representative of every country. We had 15 countries, and we could like turn back and ask, by the way, how is going now in your country, Sharvania in South Africa? Tell us. So it's like, oh, Margarita, what is going on in Russia now? Because we have news channels, we have course, we have information, but how it's in reality, we can know only if we ask people from that place.
Exactly.
And that was a great opportunity to speak with everyone.
Exactly.
And for me, for example, was very nice to learn people, to know people from countries which I didn't know before. I mean, I knew about that countries, but for example, I never met person from South Africa. So you are my first South African representative. So this is like, and it's also very, how to say, it's like very important, very responsible, because you present the whole country. Of course, it's not like you're the average person, no, but it's like your duty, your responsibility, like present your country, present the best side, what you have in your culture and your nation and history and so on. So it was very nice.
And I think it's just to your point, Margarita, I think it goes back to what Eliza mentioned in episode 1 in terms of, I mean, meeting like you, for example, from Russia, just in terms of how some people might perceive different nationalities, but then when you meet them, they're completely different.
Yeah,
So
like stereotypes.
exactly,
Crush
stereotypes.
stereotypes.
Yeah, cross
Yeah.
stereotypes. And I think everyone in our class, I mean, whatever perspective we had on certain countries or stereotypes, it was all crushed at the end of the day because we had real life interactions and real life experiences with each other. So we didn't have to connect you with the country. We just connected ourselves with what we know of each other, and everyone represented their own country. So I think it's very important to destroy stereotypes and just focus on the real person.
Yeah, and I also would like to add to that topic, like about cultures, that for example, one day we were going from some activity in the evening with our classmate from Chile, and we were discussing like, "Wow, so nice! You are the first person who I meet from Russia." And I told our classmate from Chile, I told her like, "Yeah, you are also the first person, and we feel that we have the same values and the same ideas, and like we are more closed than for example some of my ex-colleagues,
Yeah.
people who lived with me on the same street, who went with me to the school or university. And I was surprised that we can find our people
Mm-hmm.
from the whole world, from
Yeah.
the different opposite part of the world. I found person who has the same values, and we are like on the same level of discussing some questions. I was
Yeah.
surprised, really.
Yeah.
It's not only about mentality, the common mentality you growing, but it's about mm, I don't know. It's about what. So it was
Yeah. And I guess
interesting.
different nationalities, I mean, from my experience, just with all of us working together, we work the best when you have different and diverse
Yeah,
backgrounds.
yeah,
It's just something about having people from different origins that really integrates.
mm-hmm.
We integrate more as a group. And just from your experience, Margarita, what would you say? What were your challenges though that you experienced during the year? Like, were there any, um, transitional periods or challenges that you encountered that you were surprised or that you anticipated or expected? Like, was there
Yeah.
anything that stood
I would
out?
say from my side, I would say it was challenging, like the whole journey. Every day, every moment was challenging for me. I
Yeah.
even I don't know. These stories. I can tell the stories of every day like the rest of my life. So many activities, events, situations which challenged me, and in which I was changing also, like almost every day, very full of a different situation. But the most, mm, it's hard to say what is the most, because all of them, I think, impacted on me like that. I would say that before coming here, I was afraid of some failure. I worried that I can do something bad and do mistakes. And in my culture, when we studied, we had like bad marks. If you fail, of course, it means that we didn't study, but it's like it was bad. It's like you shouldn't have any mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But and of course I'm afraid of that, but now we can hear that failure and mistakes are good because it helps us to learn and to grow. And here I transformed. Mm, Now for me failures are not so scary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid of that. I understand that if you have something in your mind, do it. And if you fail, you know how to fix. Before doing that, how you can know how to learn, how to grow if you didn't try?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm not afraid, and I remember how I laughed. Was laughing on myself when I always, it was just the first days when I always took the different buses, the wrong
Oh, yeah.
buses, or I changed my bus station. I felt myself like 3 years child. Yeah, and it's like, Mamma mia, I can't do any easy steps, simple things. And at one time I was thinking, okay, it's okay. Now I know. Don't take that bus because it goes there. Now I know which bus I should take to go there. So, and I even can help others.
Yeah.
And it was like transformation, but during the whole MBA. At the end, I understood. Now
Yeah.
I accept failures.
Yeah. And I think that's a whole, I mean, it's always good to try, learn, fail, and
Yeah,
then try again.
yeah, yeah.
And
It's
just
easy
it
to
was,
say, but
it's easy to say.
try to do it.
Before I go into my challenges, I want to ask you, Margarita, I mean, doing an MBA in a different language, it must be a challenge. I mean, if I had to do an MBA in Russian or
Yeah,
any other language beside English, I would not even have. It's so daunting and so stressful because it's not just, I mean, the level or the depth of the subjects, accounting, strategic management, writing your thesis,
finance.
finance. How did you like how was the transition? Because I mean, just doing
Yeah,
an MBA, which is amazing, it's spectacular to do it in a different language, like
yeah.
other than your first language. Yeah.
I love that question, Sherry. I love it because it's true what you said, and it's also it's a fear which has not everyone, not of course not everyone, but some of students have such fears to learn. Maybe this is a fear which stop people from even thinking about this opportunity. Yeah, I had such fear and I worried in the beginning. I even couldn't add some comments to ask questions in the audience on the course because I worried about if I, what if I ask something the wrong way, how people will perceive me, like maybe I can be, can look weird or stupid or something
Yeah.
like that. I for me it was difficult, and after I tried because I improved, I was improving every day language, and at one day I decided, okay, I'm not afraid. Also, it was an interesting moment when we had a common project with students from USA.
Mm-hmm.
We worked on a project for um, company who produce coffee machine, and she wanted to go to American markets, USA market, and we had students, and of course they speak English, and one of them told us like, wow, and we prepared presentation, and he said, wow, you do presentation in foreign language and we know
Yeah.
only one. Wow, it's great. And I was thinking, Mamma mia, yeah, we really can do something important for us, and nobody tell us like you speak bad, or don't say like that, say like that, or I don't understand you, I don't want to speak with you because I don't understand. No,
Mm-hmm.
such situation didn't happen, and I felt only support from my classmates. For example, you, Sherry, I couldn't understand in the beginning. Sorry, your English so perfect, and also pronunciation, another accent. Now I
Yeah.
understand very
As
well.
soon as I
So it
no,
was
but
challenging,
yeah.
but especially it's like my pains.
Yeah.
I will speak a lot about that. Especially, it was very hard before coming here. For me, it was difficult to be patient to listen 15 minutes on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
in English. When I started, I had 8 hours in English every day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. That's a lot.
And I understand how our brain is
Yeah,
adaptable.
yeah, yeah.
This is. But what about you, Sherry? How was it to have everything in English first of all.
Yeah.
Like we were thinking that it's like you had this advantage,
Yeah.
and the second is how you live with your English, but in other
Yeah.
country, in your other social life, how you manage that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but thanks for that answer, Margarita. I think it's but congratulations. It's an amazing achievement, to especially do such an intense course in a different language.
Yeah.
And understanding you, I just love listening to you. So
Yeah.
everything you
Thank
say
you.
is amazing.
I hope also our audience.
In terms of mine, I mean, even though the course was in English, it's a challenge to do an
Yeah.
MBA because it's not just doing any just course, in the same language. It's an MBA, which is a very sought after degree. It's a very intense. All the subjects is pretty much, I mean, it's crammed up in 1 year if you do it full time. So it's literally about a month per subject or so, maybe a month or two. So for me, it was also very challenging. I think just like I said, just leaving everything behind, a full time job, coming to study. You're not sure what the future will bring. You're not sure if you're going to pass the MBA. What is the level of intensity, even though you have your background. But if you don't put in 100%, you're not gonna. I mean, it's possible to fail an MBA. I mean, if you're not working consistently, and I think for me, just in terms of the challenges, I think the colleagues like you and the rest of our class and stuff, I think we all supported each other, whether it be on group assignments, individual assignments, guidance, support. I think that definitely helped with overcoming challenges during the actual MBA. But I think even doing the subject in your first language, there's a lot of emotions that goes through one's mind, just in terms of also studying in a different country, in a different continent altogether, and what those experiences will bring you. Are my colleagues are they going to like me? Are they going to accept me, for example? So I think just those initial challenges, the emotional stress, leaving back family and friends. But then you create new communities when you come here. We all came here for a reason, to challenge ourselves and to turn those challenges and our failures into successes. And I think that's what we've done over the past year. So I think for me, it was just the transition of, and coming here and creating a new life, making a new life. And I think for me personally, it's been a success. I think it's definitely, something that I have no regrets of coming here and, pursuing the MBA and so on.
Yeah. But what are your highlights, Sharvania? Because it was amazing journey, and what you remember the most, which impressed you most, or maybe your the biggest fears. I don't know, like what you remember so clear for now.
So for me, I think the biggest highlight, I think if I can just highlight one, and then I'll come to another after that, but definitely our graduation day. It was surreal. It was
very emotional.
Very emotional, yeah. And just, just like the feeling like, oh, we've made it, as a group, as a team. Exactly, I think that was incredible. And just the journey that because we've been through so much the whole year, the ups, the downs, and we did it as a team. So I think that definitely was the highlight for me. And then if I can just speak about another highlight, I think it was our trip to Milan when we did our study trip with the school. Yeah. I think it was incredible. This is actually the first time I've been to Italy. So, Milan is an incredible city, very different from Trieste. Just to see that type of life. Obviously, we visited some of the companies up there. We did the group activities, the group assignments. So I think just that interaction with not just the school, but now when you get into the corporate world to see how the companies run in the bigger cities, it gives you that hunger. Okay, it will be a city that maybe I'd like to work in someday.
Exactly.
Just in terms of the corporate environment, if I compare our vibrant South African business landscape to the Italian one. A very different, contrast. And I mean, both has um, their own beauty, etc. But it's good to see the other side of things from a different corporate world, and something that I would hopefully like to immerse myself someday. And obviously, we did our own activities. It wasn't just the school, but we got to explore the city as a group. Those interactions, I think those were very special.
Really, really nice. And I like your story about Milan tour. It was really helpful to understand corporate world and companies, such big companies.
And then I think, Margarita, if we can just, if you had to highlight before we close off with our 3 words,
Yeah.
What are the soft skills that you gained throughout the year? Like, if you can just mention a few.
Yeah, good question, Sharvania, because soft skills are so important. I can say only one thing about that. Of course, I developed many of them. I noticed in myself, but one one situation I would like to shadow. Before coming here, when I studied, I always focused on studying. So, like. Professor gave us information, we should take it carefully. And when I came here, I decided, okay, communication, networking, and building community will be one of my priority. And as one of our classmates told me that time when I just came, she said like people and relationships are very important. Not only study, but that one is one of the most important thing. And I was thinking, yeah, it's true. It's I started to make focus on that. Even if I was, for example, tired, I understood I should go to people. I should build my community and to improve communication skills. This was like the big output from that, I think. One of the biggest.
No, I think that's a very key for me as well. I think the networking part, because I mean, it's a good skill to have too, and I think we've networked quite a bit during this whole program, and we continue to network and communicate in a different way, more efficient, more effective way, multicultural way, exactly. And I think just time management. I think for me, time, I'm sure for you as well, because we had so many different projects that we had to juggle. I think I'm so much better at time management now, because I'm able to prioritize better, able to manage projects, in a more effective way. So I think also just creativity and thinking out of the box.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's, I mean, what an MBA gives you, because when I think about before the MBA and now, there's been such a transition just in terms of the creative aspect of my mind, and a global, it gives you a global perspective as well. So, but just the creativity, I think that's also another.
Yeah, creativity was good. I felt that we improved it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Also with all our new product developments, assignments, and
mamma mia. Okay, Sherry, what do you think? Before I ask you to describe your experience in three words, I just want to ask you, okay, was it good decision?
That's the golden question. It was a very good decision. I have no regrets. I mean, I came on this journey. I wouldn't look back. I haven't looked back since.
Yeah.
Maybe I looked back after the first month when I was here, but not since then.
Yeah.
But I think it's just been a remarkable journey to meet all you amazing people. If I didn't come into the MBA here, I wouldn't have got to connect with all of you, build lifelong friendships. So I think I don't regret it a bit.
And you don't regret?
No, I have no regrets whatsoever. And what about you? Coming back to your introduction, Margarita?
Yeah. I know more about business. I know more about myself. I'm happy with it.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, to conclude, what are your 3 words to describe this journey?
So my 3 words to describe this journey would definitely be, one would be family, because as I mentioned, I build lifelong friendships. I see all of you as family as opposed to just friends.
Yeah.
So it's lifelong for me. So I think that's a big one. One, if I can describe in one word. The next would be holistic, because now I see everything as the big picture. I'm not looking at the world in little segments. I'm looking at the world holistically, and how can I build from that? And then I think just the third one would be unforgettable, because wow, was this an unforgettable experience?
It's true.
And what about you, Margarita?
Just the 3 simple words like resilience, because to go through this challenge, we should be resilient, and persistency, because step by step, small steps, big steps, but we went through. And the third one is enjoying life, enjoying all this moment, live the moment. Yeah, because otherwise, how we can feel our life?
Yeah,
This is, yeah, enjoy. We should enjoy, I think.
those are very good 3 descriptors. I love that.
Okay, nice. It was great to refresh our mind, to remember what we had before, to share with our audience our experience. I hope someone can find some insights in that. And thank you. See you next time. Watch our podcast, subscribe. So, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.